Hey guys, this is Shasta with Live, Love, Learn, Go, and I have been doing a lot of homeschool projects, and one of my newest, most exciting projects is my sign language course, which I'm so excited about. Yay! For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shasta again, and I am a teacher, I'm a mom, I'm a sign language interpreter, I am crafty. I am an entrepreneur, so I love making money online and I love learning how to do that. I love helping other people. I love to travel. I've road schooled before, so yeah, I'm like a gypsy soul with all these crazy ideas. And I do talk with my hands a lot. It's part of my sign language thing, so I will try to not do it too much, but I will probably throw in signs all over the place. So I just want to welcome you. If you're watching this video, I'm going to guess it's because you are interested in learning about sign language. And this is going to be part of my big sign language tube program, which has been something that I have been working on seriously for like 10 years. And I have finally gotten to the point where I can dedicate really uh, intense amounts of time to this. And so I finally feel comfortable with launching it and giving you guys what you deserve. So, you know, I know that people want to learn sign language for a variety of reasons. So maybe, you have always wanted to learn sign language just because you've seen something on TV, or maybe you have a baby and you always wanted to teach your baby sign language. And yes, you should. You definitely should. My kids were signing early, and it was the coolest thing ever because we could communicate long before they could talk. And they really didn't give me problem. Like, they didn't throw fits when they were done. They were like, all done. They didn't throw their plate across the room or anything. When they wanted more, they're like, more candy. More candy. They were great. They'd say please and thank you long before they could ever talk, which goes to show that little kids have a lot more communication going on in their head and understanding than we give them credit for before they can speak. So that's my little spiel on that. So yes, if you want to teach your baby sign language, this is a great opportunity. Maybe you're homeschooling and you're looking for a course for your kids for their language. And I'm really excited because I like to teach a little out of the box. And so this is not going to be a typical homeschool course where you just are like learning vocabulary, learning sentences, and testing. I like to teach sign language with music, and I like to connect it to real life, whether it's TV shows or videos or songs. That's how I do my teaching. And so it's a little bit different, but I've taught at the high school level and I've taught middle school online. I've taught in person on the computer. I've done camps for little kids. So I've really seen how this works, and that's kind of how I got involved. I'll tell you a little bit later about how I got involved in sign language. But yes, I think that music connects kids to this language learning and it makes a difference. So that's how I teach it, which is a little bit different. Or maybe, maybe you're here because you have a kid who is struggling with communication, whether it's through, something that's physically wrong. Maybe you have a deaf child. Maybe you have a child that can't speak properly or can't speak well, or maybe they're autistic and their communication is just different or lacking um, verbally, And so sign language is an amazing tool. And I think I'm one of those people that I don't think you should ever just use one method and that's the end all be all. You've got people that believe you should just sign or just, use speech. And I believe you do whatever you can to speak to kids and communicate. Um, and so, however that communication happens, I don't care if you do sign language, talk, draw, act it out, um, sing and dance. You do whatever you can to communicate with kids because it will make such a difference. And I'll go over all that in the course too. But yes, communicate. And if this you think will work, I think it will. I think it will do nothing but enhance communication. You cannot hurt anything by adding to communication ability and communication skills. So, again, I'll get into that more. So, but that's what this class is going to be. It's going to be so much more though than just learning sign language. Like, if you go online and you try to learn sign language through just pictures or some videos, you're going to learn sign words. but you're not going to learn a language, and you're not going to understand the deep, rich history of deaf culture and the deaf community. There's so much more to the language that you have to understand why things are signed a certain way. And there's a lot more to the grammar than just signing words. I can't even hardly get into that right now, but it's a huge, huge deal that you understand concepts, that real, true sign language, American Sign Language, is not just putting signs to words. So I'll give you a quick example. Two examples. So one is he's going to bear the weight of the world. Okay, so you have bear or you have bear. Okay, so if you learn the sign for bear for the animal, and you're going to say he's going to bear the weight of the world, that's not going to make any sense. He's carrying the weight of the world. Okay, he's got it on his shoulders, bearing it. So that's one thing. Where two words are the same or sound the same, but they have different meanings. The same thing is in sign language. You cannot just sign a word if it doesn't fit. And the other thing was, I was just sharing this with somebody today. Concepts. So in Christian music, there's a song that says, "Open the eyes of my heart, Lord." And so I've seen this happen with so many different songs, even with this one, but they do "Open the eyes of my heart, Lord." Okay, so does your heart have eyes? No, they don't. Your eyes don't have hearts. I've seen people do "Open the eyes of my heart." I've seen some crazy stuff. So what does it mean? Okay, it means help me to understand, or help me to have clarity in my heart, or help me to see things like you. I mean, there's so many ways that you could sign that, but "open the eyes of my heart" is not really a good American Sign Language. It's not. So that's the great thing about having a course like this, is you can learn stuff like this so that you're not learning signs out of a book or from a video, and then you try to sign something and you sign something that's totally different than what you meant to sign. So I teach all that fun stuff in class. So I'm actually going to be focusing on American Sign Language. And if you know somebody that signs English, because there are people that sign English, and again, that's totally different thing. This, you could still use this. You just take the signs and put them in English order. But for the language, to really understand the deaf language and American Sign Language, there's an actual system to all this. So that's what this course will be going. And so just to give you real quick a little background on how I started learning sign language and why I'm so passionate about it. I grew up, when I was in middle school and high school, I started in the summers going to church camp. And so I went to church camp, and one week there was a deaf camper with an interpreter. And so we did a lot of skits and dramas, and I went to camp as a camper. I became a counselor, so I was at this camp for years and years and years in the summer. So one year we had a deaf camper with her interpreter, and she watched all the skits and dramas just like I did. I mean, I was just fascinated, loved the sign language there. And at the end of the week, she signed to her interpreter. She said, "Does God love deaf people?" She was like, "Yes, God loves deaf people." She was like, "I never knew." And so the director was telling us that story, and I was really heartbroken. And I thought, this poor girl thinks that God didn't love her and that she didn't matter. And if you really think about it, she probably didn't have a lot of people communicating with her in her life. And, that was over 20 years ago, quite a while ago. So we didn't have all this social media. We didn't have all this video. We didn't have all this access to communication that wasn't, one-on-one verbal communication. And she most likely didn't have an interpreter most of the time. So she didn't have people speaking into her life. And she certainly didn't have anybody telling her that she was special or that she mattered. And so I was like, I am going to learn sign language because I don't want anyone in my life to ever feel like they don't matter and like they're not important and like there's not some big greater plan for their life, because I really believe God has a plan for all of us. And so I just wanted to be able to share that. So I left camp and went to college, and I was like, still wanted to do all those things, but I don't know what I wanted to do at college. So I was like, what am I going to do? And then I thought, ooh, I want to learn sign language. And I thought, I'm never going to learn it if I don't just like immerse myself into it. And so I made it my major. I thought, well, if I have all my classes in sign language, I'll probably learn it. Well, guess what? I learned it. Yay. So I learned sign language in college. And then I ended up moving back home to my little tiny small town a couple hours south of Tampa in Orlando area. I'm like in the middle of Florida here. And there was nobody to interpret for. So I had this, degree in interpreting and nobody to interpret for, no job. And I was like, what am I going to do now? So I called the school and I was like, hey, can I teach sign language at the high school? Because I need a job. And they were like, hey, sure. So I did. I started teaching high school and I taught sign language and it was some of the best time of my life. I loved it. I get so excited. Like, probably half of my students are watching this and they're like, yeah, I remember those days. They were great. So I taught at the high school for like 7 years and it really, really, really was incredible. But some things changed in my life and we ended up moving and traveling for a bit. So I switched from teaching at the high school to teaching online with another district and I helped create their sign language curriculum and it was great. I loved it. I love technology. I love working online. I thought this is fantastic. And it was great. And I ended up working with a deaf co-teacher and we really had a good time. But a few years into it, some things changed and I couldn't get to the meetings and life was getting crazy. So I ended up switching to some other online work and teaching. And this was a few years ago. So here I am. And I'm, hanging out with my kids and I'm my own kids. I have 5 kids. Actually, I have 6, but I have 5 in the house. And yeah, I have a lot of kids. Some of them are mine, some are adopted, but they're all my children. And I have like 100 kids that call me mom too. So, yeah, fun times. I'll probably call all your kids. I call my students my kids all the time. And so I am at the point where I am doing a lot of homeschool stuff. I'm working with homeschool families, and I keep seeing these posts about sign language classes. And I thought, I really need to get on this. I have like whole hard drives full of teaching videos of things I've done, lessons, lesson plans, because I never did the same thing over and over. I always changed everything. Same concepts, but we would just always tweak it, do new things. And so I thought, I should do this. I really want to do this. So here I am. Yay! We're going to have sign language. So here's what I'm going to be doing. So for right now, we are going to be doing this big pre-launch for these courses. And what I want you to do is, if you want to learn sign language, I'm going to have 3 different options right now. The first option is going to be called like Mommy and Me. So it's going to be classes I'm going to do, and I will do videos kind of like this, or I'll have some that I pre-make with my kids, or however I decide to do it. So you'll have some live lessons and you'll have recorded lessons. If I do them live, they'll be recorded so I can upload them later. So you'll have Mommy and Me. It'll be real cutesy stuff, things that little, toddlers and babies would want to learn. And I'll teach you some tips and tricks to teach them and how, communication with them. And then my second course is going to be elementary level for those K through 5. If you have a 4th or 5th grader that's really, really mature, you might want to dump them up, move them up to the middle school, high school one. It doesn't matter. I'm not like really strict on that. I'm just saying generally this course is going to be for the younger ones. So maybe you have an older kid, but they're on a lower level. And I get that. I have a kid who's older and he can't read. So he's struggling. And he would always probably be on like academically, he's great socially, but academically he's always going to be lower. So anyway, he could be in this course. So if you have that, I'm not a stickler on like really it has to be this age is here and this age. It's more your kid, and I'm really big on that too. I have lots of things I'm really big on. So I believe that your kid and their level. And if you don't, then I have some training you can do on how to know your kid and understanding their learning styles and love languages, and you gotta know that stuff. It's so important. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about when love languages or personality types or learning styles, message me because I want to help you, because that is like, you have to know that stuff. It's the best stuff ever. Know it about yourself, know it about your kids. It'll change everything. Okay, sorry, I'm really random too. So elementary level will be elementary based music, and the way I interact will be more on their level. I'll go slower, I'll repeat more, all the kind of stuff that little kids like. And I'll probably have my little kids be in the videos with me. And then the middle school, high school, and beyond is for everybody else. Again, it'll just kind of be geared towards that age group. So I want to give you those three options. So you're going to have those choices. Then I have some really exciting news because I've partnered with ASL Defined, which is it's an online sign language dictionary. So while I'll be creating these teaching videos, and I will show you all the signs in there, it's always great to have a dictionary. There's an app for it, there's a website, and you can go look up animal signs, you can go look up colors, you can go look up very specific topics on his website. And that is going to be part of my course for free. Yes, he's amazing. They are. The whole crew over there is awesome. So they're going to be, that's going to be something that you're going to get access to as well. And then you're going to have access to my Sign Language Tube group, which is going to be for everybody to kind of encourage each other, ask each other questions, get support, and I'm going to be here for that too, but it's always great to get feedback. And then I'm going to have a membership area where we're going to be able to share videos and get feedback on videos. And so some of the options for the pre-launch course, it's just going to be the way that I'm doing it with some live lessons and some video lessons. And it's going to be at a discounted rate. So I'll give that in just a minute. But then once I open it up in the fall for the big, actually I'll probably open it up in June or July for the big August launch. And when I do that, the price is going to go up, but I'm going to have some different options for people on whether they just want the recorded content or if they want a live teacher with interaction and things graded and like an actual grade and transcript at the end. So those are going to be some options. If you're in this pre-launch group, you're going to have access to that. And so you'll have a choice in the fall on which option, and I will just let you choose which option you want. So we'll figure out how to do that in the fall. Let me see real quick if there's anything else that I wanted to cover. No, I think that's it. So make sure, if you have not already, to like the Sign Language Tube page. And if you're my former student, make sure you leave a review so you can get your code for a free class. If you didn't catch that in the other video I posted, if you're a former student of mine and you've legitimately had me as a teacher, either in the classroom or online already, then you get free access. Woo woo! I'm so excited for that because y'all are so special to me. So like the Sign Language Tube website and or the Sign Language Tube page and leave a review. Join the Sign Language Tube group, and when you do that, I will send you a code, and then you're on my page. If you're watching this, you're already on signlanguagetube.com. So welcome. So if you're not one of my students, then please, you still need to like the Sign Language Tube page, or join the group. You're already on my website, so you just need to look down below and figure out which sign language course you're interested in, the Mommy and Me, the elementary, or the high school. And I'm only going to be taking the first 100 students. So this is paid students because my sign language students are free, they don't count. So I'm taking my first 100 students right now for the pre-launch, and I'm giving a discount right now. So it's only going to be $97. If you are not ready to pay for $97, I do have an option for monthly payments. So just remember that with this, you get the sign language course that you want, you get a live teacher that's going to be giving feedback, you get access to ASL Defined, which I think just their access alone is worth more than this, and you're going to have access to the actual huge course that's going to get launched in the fall. Um, and you'll have the choice to pick whether you want the recorded option or if you want the live interactive option with grading and a transcript at the end. So you're going to get all that. And this is right now at least half off, maybe more than that. I haven't decided yet. So we're going to, you're getting this discount because you're going to give me feedback and all that good stuff. So I am super, super excited, and I can't wait to have you in my class and get started.